I want to go to California Democratic Congressmember Ted Lieu questioning former special counsel Robert Mueller.
So to recap what we've heard, we have heard today that the president ordered former White House counsel Don McGahn to fire you. The president ordered Don McGahn to then cover that up and create a false paper trail. And now we've heard the president ordered Corey Lewandowski to tell Jeff Sessions to limit your investigation so that you stop investigating the president. I believe a reasonable person looking at these facts could conclude that all three elements of the crime of obstruction of justice have been met. And I'd like to ask you, the reason, again, that you did not indict Donald Trump is because of OLC opinion stating that you cannot indict a sitting president, correct?
That is correct.
So a few hours later, in the second of the day's hearings, Mueller sought to correct the record.
I want to go back to one thing that was said this morning by Mr. Lieu, who said, and I quote, "You didn't charge the president because of the OLC opinion." That is not the correct way to say it. As we say in the report, and as I said at the opening, we did not reach a determination as to whether the president committed a crime.
So explain the significance of this, Ryan Grim.
Right. And I think it was Slate that described this back and forth as kind of a metaphor for the entire Mueller proceedings, where you have a huge explosive moment where Mueller essentially says, yes, I agree that he met the elements of the crime of obstruction of justice, and I would have charged him, but for the OLC opinion that says that you cannot charge a sitting president. You know, that's an explosive allegation coming from Mueller saying, no, we found evidence that we could have indicted him, but we didn't because you can't indict a president. And so for an hour or so, Democrats are kind of celebrating that announcement from him. Then he comes before the next committee and says, well, let me clarify that. And this happened over and over the last year and a half. Let me clarify that. We actually didn't come to a determination over whether or not we could charge him even before they get to the OLC opinion. It seemed like what he was saying was that
Office of Legal Counsel.
Right. And it seemed like what he was saying is that even if we had gotten to the place where we decided we could have charged him, then we wouldn't have, but we didn't get to that place. There was contemporaneous reporting that there were prosecutors inside Mueller's team who disagreed on this question. There were some that thought the elements were absolutely there, and there were others who said that they weren't quite there, and that there could be kind of reasonable alternative explanations for Trump's behavior. I think a viewer can make their own judgment on this. What Mueller appears to be answering is, does the OLC opinion allow a prosecutor to charge the president after he leaves office? And Mueller says yes. And then Mueller specifically says later he's referring to the findings of the Office of Legal Counsel opinion. And that's just a statement of fact. If a president commits a crime and prosecutors have evidence of that crime, then the prosecutor can charge the president after he leaves office. There were people that were hoping that what he meant was that we had the elements of the crime and we're just waiting until he leaves office and then we can charge him. And at one point, Buck kind of refers to Trump, but then he cuts himself off and refers back in general to a vague president. And so it again leaves it open to interpretation of where you think he's heading. But if Mueller had said otherwise, that they didn't conclude that they could charge him before they even got to the OLC opinion, then it seems clear he's talking in general terms. And of course, once a president leaves office, they can be charged. That's why Ford pardoned Nixon, so that he wouldn't be charged after he left office. So, it's either a bombshell or it's just an obvious reading of the law.